Brain Candy Podcast, episode 604. Here we are.
Just inching closer to that 666 episode.
Now it's all we can think about.
Right?
Devil horns.
How's my Suze?
Pretty good. I told you I had that head cold, but things are looking up. I turned a corner.
Good.
Things are okay. No COVID yet either.
Mucus is clearing, and so are the clouds.
Yes. All is well. Yes. What about you, Sarah?
I'm doing well. Can't complain, Just like getting ready to do the trek to California to get all my stuff and finally be done with this being here, there, and everywhere else. And
peripatetic lifestyle for months on end.
Oh my God. I am the most excited that I will soon, in less than, what time is it? In less than 24 hours, I will be able to empty my car for the first time in more than 6 months, it feels like.
What is all in there right now?
Well, right now I have a box of snowboarding stuff, like gear, that I just keep in there. I've got different, shoes for different environment. Like I've got rain boots and snow boots and workout shoes and a pair of nights. So my shoes.
Whoa.
Then a couple jackets, a portable stove for when I'm
oh my God.
hanging out and tailgating.
How often
ski
is that
tailgating.
happening? Ski tailgating.
Well, sometimes you just want a hot drink when you're at the bottom of the mountain.
What are you talking about?
I've got this little jet boil system where you just screw on a little propane thing and then you just click a button and it boils water in 60 seconds. And then you just pour it in your little cup of noodles or whatever you want. You got snack.
What are you saying? This is blowing my mind.
I'm not paying resort prices when I'm going there all the time. This shit's insane.
You're so frugal. I love that about you.
I know.
You're a problem solver. Well,
yeah.
so if
you get some folding chairs and you get your little propane stove and you just fucking chill.
Wow. Are there other people in the parking lot? Okay, this is a whole thing.
It's not a thing. I'm not hanging out with people. I just it's more me by myself.
Okay, wait, which is it?
It's me by myself. There's not people hanging out. There are other people who are doing the same thing because we're no dummies. Yeah.
For real, this is a whole alternative option.
I got the idea from Luke, my brother, who has the best setup, and I'm like, what do I get? Tell me everything. He's got a bed in the back of it. He's got a full sleeping situation.
I don't know why, but that would shock me less.
Then having something to make hot cocoa with when you're done snowboarding?
Yeah, because I've never wanted hot cocoa that bad.
Did you not hear when I described what heaven was like last week?
But that was the first time I've ever heard you even say the words hot cocoa. It's not like you are an enthusiast.
I am an enthusiast. I love hot cocoa. But you know what the thing is that you and I have never been in a cold climate together.
Right. There's never been an opportunity.
Max cold is we got some rain.
Yeah, right.
In which case, I just like a red wine.
Mm-hmm. But once there's snow involved...
I'm going to need... it's going to either need to be a hot toddy or a hot chocolate. But something
not
hot.
Tea or coffee.
No, I have tea like crazy.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
wow,
and coffee.
This is
for all of it. Coffee too.
Holy heck.
Yeah, I love
this
it.
Is great.
Got a little teeny tiny French press.
In your car?
Yes!
Oh, this is great. You never cease to amaze me. That is true. And I love that you're sort of baffled by why I think this is funny.
Right, because anybody who would be doing, I think, the activities that I do would be like, yeah, that's a cool setup. Good
could
job.
see thermos culture, with the screw off top, that whole deal.
But then if I do the thermos culture, thermos life, then I got to... I need it boiling.
Wow,
because because that's how you make top ramen and all those kind of things, right? Soup. Okay. If I'm gonna make, or I have not used this yet, but if I ever got there and it was really early, wanted a lunch, I'll get those meals that you just like pour hot water in and then you like mix
Oh my
it.
God,
It's like,
she's getting like the military.
yeah, like MREs.
meals.
Like, I'll eat those. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
You.
And so I need
really
the water
adapt.
hot, so I can't do like the thermos. I'm out there because if you think about it, I'm leaving my house like 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to be like making stuff before.
What time are you getting up? This is insane.
5 o'clock in the morning. I'm rolling out of bed and rolling right into the car.
5 o'clock in the morning, you roll out of bed, brush your teeth, and hit the powder. And
yes.
and then you wrap it up.
I probably end up getting out of the house by like 6 o'clock, 5:30, 5:30.
And is it busy there at the time?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, not at all.
That's nice. I can see why that would be appealing then.
Yeah. Oh my God! The other day I didn't see a single soul on the entire run. We stayed late, and it was like nobody there. I took video, and like you can't see anybody in the background. Oh, like heaven.
What percentage of the time or days that you do this do you see someone who's gotten an injury?
Like a serious injury, like where ski patrol is coming to get them?
Yeah, kind of like that.
I wouldn't even say it's as frequently as like once a day or like every time I go out there. It's not. It's only, there was one day where I saw like 10 people get carried away by the ski patrol.
And that does not disturb you at all?
No, I don't know. No, not really. But then there was... You know what? I actually had this thought the other day because I was looking through. I just like watching snowboarding videos, and there was one, like something I clicked on that then sent me to a couple like snowboard fails. And at first I was like, "Oh, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch people falling." But then I thought, "Wow, okay. So in this whole snowboard account, it's probably like there aren't that many, bail or like falling videos." But there are so many of people being successful. So I'm like, yeah, of course, like the times where they fall, that it's like a really scary fall, they put the video on here. But those are few and those don't happen that often. In the same way that doing those crazy tricks don't happen that often. So I don't have to worry about either. I'm not going to be doing any backflips anytime soon, and I'm not going to be falling, like getting in the kind of accidents that anybody is. Because I'm not, once you kind of like get the mechanics of it, I have a few bad falls here and there. I do think I'm about 2 falls away from tearing my rotator cuff, but besides that.
What part of your body is that? I don't even know.
Oh, your shoulder.
Really?
I keep on falling. Yeah, I keep falling in the same place in my shoulder, and I had 2 falls that were like...
What the heck
fell
can
in
you do
the
to
same
prevent that?
place again. I have to like just fall better.
I mean, that is a thing, but...
Yeah, it is. And so I'm just, like, not picking up my board when I fall, and I just end up going boom, 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 like skidding down, and then it just, I don't know, I use my shoulder or something, and it, like, popped it out. I'm like, oh, that's weird. And then
I don't want to jinx you. We should stop
no, that is not even in my field of awareness.
It is not.
Nope, it's not. I am not getting, it's not happening. I am having fun. Mm-hmm. And I already had a day where it was the worst conditions. And I was fine. It was awful. It was like icy and everything was like.
Do they have a set day that they close everything up for the season?
Right now it's set for May 30th, which is really late. And it's looking like that is crazy. Bo, stop scratching.
It's not going to happen.
I feel like there's no way it's going to melt before then. We're probably going to make it to mid-April, end of April.
Then what are you going to do with all your time?
Oh, my God. I don't know, Susie. I'm going to go hiking. I'm going to do the 14ers out here. That are like the 14,000-foot elevation hikes and climbs. And Jonathan's excited to come with me, and he's, like, ready for that. He's like, yeah, that'll get me in, like, good shape for next season.
How's the soft launch coming?
Great. I think I should I need to step it up a bit, progress our relationship.
Okay, we'll keep our eyes peeled.
Yeah. We did take some really cute pictures together for the first time when we went tubing.
Did you?
Yes.
Are you saving them?
Still in snow gear, but
they're for private collection.
It's one of those. No, I'll share them. It's funny because he looks great. I am so happy and having such a good time because I'm with my camp friends and him and we're tubing and I'm just like a kid. I'm like, this might actually be heaven. And I'm so excited that I just look like you. I mean, I'm very excited. And the photo, I'm like, like a very excited little kid. And so
yeah,
I'll
seen
post
this.
it,
I've seen this Sarah.
You know this. You might have met her.
Well, I'm happy you're happy because you had a real string of bad luck there for a few years.
For a few years.
Basically since the finale of Rivals 3. It was like nothing but bad juju.
I try to remind myself that I think I talked about this last time or a couple episodes ago, that book Lifequake, where it talked about like the big events in your life, that it's an average of about 5 years to recover from those. Mm-hmm. So that I'm within I'm fine. This is it's settling down now, and then we're good.
Right. It was just one thing after the next.
Right. Well, what doesn't kill you, as they say.
Well, now you're on a good streak. I'm happy about this. This is
God damn, am I strong? So
long time coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're looking very buff, by the way.
I think it's the tan.
You're looking tan and toned.
You know how when you get a tan, you all of a sudden think you look real fit?
Yeah, speaking of which, there's like a male filter going around, like a filter that guys use.
No
that
way.
Makes your muscles, make it look like you have more defined muscles, like because it's more tan. And I went and clicked on the filter. All pictures of guys using it. I was like, wow, I think I've discovered the male filter. Yeah.
Well, they deserve one. I mean,
they do. They totally do.
We are full of shit online, all of us.
Oh my God. And they're definitely not going to be able to use like Sexy Fox or whatever those ones are, like the
right, Baby
California,
Laguna or
whatever. Yeah.
It's all these weird names.
So
no filter,
weird.
filter. But yeah, I do like to think I'm fit.
Oh, damn! That flexing. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
That was worth a Patreon membership right there.
All natural too, baby.
Yes,
no
look at that swole. Whoa.
Swole.
I said that at the gym with my friend Ashley the other day, and she's like, okay, let's settle down now. We don't need to use language like that. She's like, that's enough of that.
I like that she keeps you in line.
She does. You and her. She's like, okay, you're being crazy. So buff.
What about this idea for you to keep it in your car instead of your stove? Daily Harvest.
Wait, I am so excited about this, Susie.
Me too.
I have it all lined up for when I move into my new house. Forget it. I don't need to bring any of that stuff because I'll just do my smoothie in the morning. It's already in the thing. I have been so pitching for this to be a sponsor because I love them so much.
That's the thing.
This is all the things you need.
Yes. Daily Harvest. I'm sure you guys have seen people using it. If you haven't tried it.
This is the best.
It is so great. They deliver delicious like bowls and soups and flatbreads and smoothies, whatever, and ready to go.
Yeah. Ready.
And it's built on organic fruits and vegetables. So you can get the convenience of crappy food with the goodness of healthy food.
Thank you. That is the exact summary. That is exactly what I'm looking for. Convenience of crappy food with all of the benefits of not crappy food and delicious organic. Oh my God. Oh, it's so good. Give me all the nutrients.
It couldn't have come at a better time because Sarah's, transitioning and going through all this like moving and all that. Yes. We're renovating, so our house is just in shambles.
Yes.
It's so convenient and tasty. Smoothies are great. Love the flatbread. All of it's really wonderful.
Flatbread. I went straight smoothie because I got like.
Oh, right, because you're in your like green.
I'm not messing around.
Stage.
Right.
But all you have to do, they do all the work, and you just get to eat it.
Yes.
I don't really know what you would not like about this.
What else do you want, people?
Super delicious. Avoid the takeout temptation, which is a big thing, and get Daily Harvest. Go to dailyharvest.com/braincandy. You can get up to $40 off your first box. That's dailyharvest.com/braincandy for up to $40 off your first box. dailyharvest.com/braincandy. You got to try it.
There are a few things. You know what? Like when they do those things, like what's something that isn't rich but makes you feel rich.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that. Like that isn't expensive but makes you feel like $1 million.
Yeah. Daily Harvest.
Daily Harvest. There's something about it that makes me feel like I am a fancy
lady.
Yes!
Remember
I
when
love
you
it.
used
Like,
to
I have
wear-
my shit together.
Sarah would wear white to like wine events for the
Yes.
same reason.
Yes. I'm like,
Because it's like a status. It's like a move. It's a power move.
It's a power move.
Because you're basically saying...
Oh my God. I saw something recently that is the snow equivalent to this. And I can't fucking remember what it is. Oh my God. And I was
Sarah
like...
had this theory that if you wore white to a wine event, it implied that like these clothes are basically disposable. That if you spill wine on it, it doesn't even matter.
Yes.
So like, what would the snow equivalent be,
there was something... There was some place I was where I was like, oh my God, this is the equivalent of that. Fuck, I'll have to remember it. I'll see it when I'm out and about or something.
Friends.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I will.
Okay. Moving on.
Keep up with your good close friends posts.
I watched a really fun documentary. It was nominated for an Academy Award, which, by the way, we're not even going to talk about the Academy Awards.
We are not even. I mean, I can't even,
that.
like, what? Everything's
We'll
nuts.
just stick to the movies. This film was nominated for a documentary short. It's 35 minutes long, so it's not a full-length feature. And it's called When We Were Bullies. And it's just came out on HBO and HBO Max. And it was just fascinating and fun to watch because this filmmaker was reminiscing about an event that happened in 5th grade where the whole class sort of ganged up on this one kid that was different and odd and they thought was annoying and crappy. Mm-hmm. And so he interviewed as many people as he could from that 5th grade class.
Oh.
And they just sort of shared like how they remembered it, which that's an interesting thing all by itself, just how we all have different versions of the same event and you just remember it differently. And just their memories of the boy. And the filmmaker has been making movies for a while and had made one, I think like 15 years ago that touched upon bullying and had been inspired by this event. And the kid that they had bullied heard about it and reached out over those years and said, hey, I heard you made a film about me. Can I see it?
And I would think.
The filmmaker was like, well, I didn't make it about you, but it was, inspired by you. But I don't want to like trigger you or like add to any painful memories. So I don't know. And the guy was like, listen, I've been a TV producer for 20 years. Like I can handle it. So
the guy who bullied ended up becoming a TV producer.
Yeah.
I fucking love how everything works.
So he sent him the copy of that first documentary. Never heard from him again. So that's weird. And then this film, I thought since it was nominated for an Oscar and since all of that history and they were in contact, that we were going to eventually get to see this kid.
I thought that was going to be a collaboration.
Yeah. But they didn't ask him because the guy making it was sort of like, this isn't about him. And I don't want to make adult him have to become like the symbol of it again.
Right.
So like, this is really about all of us. And that part freaked me out a little bit. Like, cause I would have liked to know what he thinks. The point of view of the person who was bullied.
Absolutely. Because what if he didn't even see it as bullying as much?
The event that they described was like they all circled this kid and like beat him up and stuff. So I mean, it was physical too.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm sure he remembers that event and didn't like it, but maybe it didn't affect. Everyone does experience things differently. So sometimes people aren't upset about stuff, and then other people are traumatized by something very small.
I think I can think of so many situations where as a child your brain would downplay, like if you were experiencing some kind of trauma at home that was more severe than that, then your brain would just throw that in a pile of like, who knows? The brain does weird things. We have weird memories of, moments that were seemingly like a nothing moment what do we even call them? Like,
That is so true.
that are really
the weirdest things get stuck in there.
the weirdest things. And who knows that sometimes if they're even true.
Right. That one cool thing though was that the teacher, even though these people are now about, I don't know, 60,
Wow. Okay.
the teacher was still alive. She was 92, and
Oh my goodness!
so
Did
she
you
was in
remember?
it. No, and she was like, "Listen, this stuff happened all the time. Like this
Right.
wasn't exceptional. It was exceptional to you because you were there, and it was a big moment. But I mean, teachers see this shit all the time,
Right.
and you know they were
We see
exploring.
this shit all the time. I got my friend. I had dinner with her, and she was like, "I was like, how's your day?" She's like, "Well, a kid stabbed another kid with a pencil, so you tell me." And I was like, "Oh my god, that was your." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm glad I'm on spring break." I'm like,
Oh
"Oh
my
my god,
Teachers.
I can't imagine a world where he's just. You have to separate kids for stabbing each other with pencils."
Well, they did explore with the teacher that thing about how kids know intuitively if you're different
Yeah.
or like odd in any way, and you know they use it as like a hierarchy marker and social order and everything, and how that's an evolutionary thing that we were born to do is sort of find the weak ones or whatever.
Yeah.
But man, it's painful if you're that other person.
It really is.
I know you've talked about how you've experienced bullying.
Yeah. Take me back. Yeah.
Does it when you talk about
But
bullying?
like I was different, but I wasn't different in a way that was like I had anything. It wasn't like I had any. They were all things that sort of I could help. You know, I was just
yeah, it
weird.
wasn't like neuroatypical type of thing.
Yes, exactly. It wasn't like that. It was like I'm basically exactly the same as I am now.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah, you're a witchy woman.
I was weird and just offbeat, and that was like it goes against social order, really. Mm-hmm. Because when you're a child and up in your high school and all that, from like element, that whole process of socialization, the whole process of like going to school is to learn how to be a person, how to fit in. That's why we have a little bit of shame. So like, oh, you didn't flush the toilet? Oh, I'm going to shame you for it so that you learn, oh, I got to flush the toilet. Like things like that. There's a little bit of that social correction that we need from our peer group to learn how to operate as fully functional people in this social environment. And I was like, yeah, I see those rules. I'm not going to follow them. And so it rubs some kids that, you know, because my mom, I'm growing up in a house where when you're an adult and you do it, it's intentional. It's I'm going to be different than the status quo. I'm going to march to a beat of my own drum, and I'm intentionally choosing because I was socialized, and then I was like, no, this isn't for me. I'm different. I grew up in an environment where being different and being in like, don't be like what's expected, don't be the norm was like preached. Like that was something that was valued. And rewarded and incentivized in my house. And my mom was like, yeah, wear that outfit that like I'm like wearing the weirdest stuff that like was cool for if I like the adults were like, oh my God, look at this cool little kid. The kids were like, you're not wearing the same thing that we are all wearing. You're a weirdo. Yes. And so that I was doing the opposite of what my peer group expected me to do, which was they were like, that's like causes cognitive dissonance. And I think that makes people then react because they don't know where to put it. And it's unfamiliar. And that's what we get bullying at the end.
So primarily those things were more like your quirks and hobbies and stuff and interests, not how you looked or your personality.
Sometimes they would use like the chubby bunny, that whole one, and like the sometimes play on like my weight just because I was one of the bigger girls, but
not usually.
that wasn't what I think. That was like and you're
secondary?
fat. Yeah, that was secondary.
And another thing.
Yeah, it was first like,
funny.
what the hell are you wearing? But, I was just quirky.
I like that about you.
I'll show you some I'll put up some photos of some I was kind of like Blossom. Do you remember Blossom from that show who always had matching hats and like
Yes.
Yeah. I was like that. And
sometimes when you're a kid that can work if you're really confident. Right. Right. That's why
waves hands.
That's why I'm surprised anyone teased you because you really have a strong sense of self.
Well, they stopped teasing me once I got cast on reality television for it.
Yeah, right. You made that work for you.
Yeah. And then the freaking kid, do you remember that one time there was a guy from my high school who kept on reaching out to me, and then he reached out to you or Brain Candy.
Yes.
He was like, hey.
Yes.
And I was like, I am not answering that guy's fucking message because he bullied me.
Yeah, he pretended like he liked
pretended like
you.
we were friends.
But maybe, do you think, and this is what I was wondering with this documentary.
This is what this documentary made me think of too.
Yeah,
okay, say what you're going to say.
I always think about myself and think, I never bullied anyone. But would someone else agree? Would someone say, yes, you did. You made me feel like garbage when you did this or that. Maybe I did, and I just didn't see it that way and don't remember it. And maybe that guy truly thinks he was nice to you.
I think that he had a crush on me, and he was doing the pull your pigtails thing. Because what he would do, he would always sit next to me, and when I raised my hand, he would jiggle my arm.
That is not okay.
He is so lucky that I didn't break his fucking hand off. Sarah now would have.
Right.
And he was chubby.
Oh.
So it felt like, what are you doing, dude? And I was too, I remember, I want to be like, I'll jiggle your arm. Whatevs. It just,
It could have been that he thought this was like a way to flirt or something.
Yes, I think it was. Because the way, always sitting next to me, we were in drama class. It was drama class, theater class.
Well, I
know.
Theater kids can be a little quirky.
Little quirky. And I am quirky for theater kids.
Yeah, you're like the quirky one within the group.
Yes. So that should tell you everything you need to know.
Kids can be cruel, but one way to keep them entertained would be to get them a KiwiCo box.
I love these.
I love them too.
Kids of all ages.
Kids of all ages. And they have a box.
A little astronomy kit you got.
Yes, they have boxes they send based on their ages. I think they're so great and such a nice gift. And they really do encourage learning and science, technology, that kind of thing, but through crafts and fun, cool stuff. Like when we did that, we made a claw machine. That. You know how I'm more of a get rid of person, so I'll keep it around for a few months, and I'll be like, okay, can we move on? We could give this to somebody, and he will not. He loves that thing.
Oh well, I know how much he loves a claw machine, so it makes sense.
Yeah, yes, it's like his totem.
Yeah.
But these things arrive in the mail, and they have a project you can either do with your child, or you can have them do on their own if you want to keep them occupied, inspire creativity and curiosity. Please try this. I think you guys will really like it. Step into spring and celebrate the season of discovery with a KiwiCo subscription. Get 30% off your first month, plus free shipping on any crate line with code BRAINCANDY at kiwico.com. That's 30% off your first month at kiwico.com. Promo code BRAINCANDY. Do it. And thank you every time you guys use our codes. It's so helpful to our show. So thank you when you guys do that.
Nice.
Okay, wait, yeah, so you had a bully. But you don't think you ever bullied anyone, right? You were never mean? You were just a laugher.
No, I'm a laugher. Yeah. I'm a laugher. But I also, in the same way that I loved there's a reason I'm a therapist now. I would make friends with or try to be friendly to, because I just feel what they would feel. I can remember. I don't even want to say their names because, But I remember the few people. You know the kid who always wears sweats?
No, but that's funny to me. Like, just that you think this is like an archetype.
Not now that sweats and loungewear has become a thing. Or I'm talking 1990s kid who always wore Walmart sweatpants, sweatshirt with the tennis shoes
Hanes.
with the socks pulled. Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Fruit of the Loom sweatshirt, sweatpants. Probably navy.
What do you think? Why do you think they were always wearing a sweatsuit?
Because I think that they were on the spectrum.
Yeah,
and I
sensory.
think that they didn't. It was a sensory thing.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah.
What about them, though? Oh, you can picture this kid.
Yes.
And people made fun of him.
Yep. And I just my heart, and I remember talking to him on the last day and like being like, I just want to say, like, I know people are mean to you, but you are, and like gave him that. I just remember how people were. Oh, I can feel it. It like, he was probably like, what? It's fine. He probably doesn't even care. And I don't know. This might be me. Like, who knows? But no, he had to feel like that because he was a frequent recipient of the book drop. Do you know of the book drop?
Yes, I've just from movies.
Hate it.
I didn't know that happened in real life. I thought that was just a thing.
It so does. I used to get book dropped all the time, so I'd hate when other kids where you're holding your because it's always like
Who does that?
The nerds who carry all their books with them at once. So like you have your books
You're
in
like,
your
I just
arm.
love reading.
I know. Come on, says the girl who now hosts a book club professionally.
I know, this is why, like, we've made it work for us.
Right. I'm like everything that it said on my report card, or everything like my
now get paid.
Fifth grade report card says talks out of turn constantly. Pleasure to have in class. They're like, cannot stop talking. Well, no problem. How many episodes do we have? 600 and whatever?
Yeah. Well, it's a gift.
Yes.
That's true of any trait.
Yes.
It's the flip side. Make it work.
Oh, make it work.
Make it work.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Well, I recommend it if you are interested because it does make you think about your own experiences and people that you grew up with and whatever. To the gazillions of people who asked me if I watched the Hillsong documentary series.
What is that?
That's the mega church that
got it.
Is from Australia. It's called Hillsong. And just everyone asked. To be honest with you, they didn't ask me. Most people were like, "Hey, there's this documentary," as if I don't know. Like, have we? I could have made that documentary. That's how much I
don't know anything about it.
Well, Hillsong is just the biggest juggernaut evangelical church.
Wow.
And they have lots of campuses around the world. And they are the church that was the pastor was Carl Lentz, who was Justin Bieber's pastor.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Yes, that whole scene. That's Hillsong. And they put out a docuseries on Discovery Plus about, Carl and the downfall there because he's been, he had an affair and all of that stuff. And then the founder of Hillsong, not Brian Houston, Brian's dad, I forget his first name. Frank, I think. He founded it, in like the 60s or something. And he was, now we know, a predator, a pedophile. Yeah, and that they paid off people and that covered it up. And that whole thing is a big problem.
This. Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, but really, those stories are salacious and interesting and like horrifying. But the bigger picture is just that like this, you can call it Hillsong, but this is a whole culture around the world that I study. And so many people, including a lot of our listeners, go to churches that are a lot like Hillsong, that are very modern and non-denominational and welcoming, at least on the surface. Yeah. But that they can be problematic.
Absolutely.
For a lot of reasons. So I recommend that.
the institution. It's the not the spirituality aspect. It's the financial, like, absolute power corrupts absolutely. It always comes down to that, I feel like.
Yeah, the celebrity pastor.
Yes, which is a lot of power.
That should be an oxymoron. Like, I know Jesus is a celebrity.
For
I get it.
sure.
But
I don't think Jesus would have had an Instagram account and would have been, like, all about getting as many followers as he could.
my friend Ben Kirby, he has a very popular Instagram account called Preachers and Sneakers, where he posts pictures of mostly celebrity pastors in very fancy sneakers and, Louis Vuitton hoodies and all this stuff. And he puts the price of them.
Oh, my God. I love that.
And
it's so silly.
Well, in prosperity theology, this is not frowned upon because if you see health and wealth as evidence of your faith, then a Louis Vuitton hoodie that costs $15,000
means you're closer
evidence.
to God.
Yeah.
I got it.
So you can see where people get their wires crossed. And if you have all that power and people looking at you with awe and wonder, almost like a deity themselves, how you can see how easy it would be for them to kind of get caught up in the ego of that.
Absolutely. I can totally see it. I'll never forget we went to Brazil and we visited the churches there.
Yes,
and,
Sarah.
The ego of the man who ran that was incredible.
When Sarah and I went to Brazil for a month, and it was because I was doing research there on a organization that is under this umbrella. And Sarah, remember we went to dinner with him and his wife?
It was so crazy.
And he had a Harley.
Yes.
He was like, and
big
these
old
kids
like
had
cowboy
nothing.
boots, like with snake skin, like or alligator.
Very
I just
flashy.
remember very flashy, like big old house that almost looked like it belonged in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Instead of Brazil.
Yeah. And the kids had nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And one of the strangest moments was when Susie and I were staying in the women's
It was like
wing,
a dormitory.
like dorm.
Yeah.
But we had to leave. We had to catch the bus, or there was only one bus into town, like all day, or out of town all day. And it was the day we were leaving. And so we're planning, because Susie's good at logistics and planning for things the night before. So I would have never thought about this. We had to leave, and they open. But we needed to unlock the gate. So at night, when people would go to bed, they would have these huge metal gates that, no joke, looked like prison cell.
Yeah, people are probably thinking
doors.
a gate that swings open. These are like bars on windows and doors.
Yes, this is like a sliding metal, like you're locking me in. Then they put a big old padlock on the door and lock it. And there is one person who has the key. And I remember when she was explaining that to us of like, okay, you have to be in before this time because once we lock the doors, we don't unlock them. And I was like, what if there's a fire? Like, how do we get out? And no joke. Do you remember what her response was, Susie?
You're going to die.
I guess then we die.
When it's your time to go.
I was like, I don't know if I'm cool with this game plan. And I was like, Susie, are they locking that door to keep people out or to keep people in?
And that is the question.
That is the question.
Yeah. And so that is an extreme version of.
Oh my God. And then they were like, you can't leave because we have dogs that patrol.
Yeah, they were going to sick dogs
on us. And the
us.
dogs will attack you. Come on. But God is it love, and peace be with you and also with you.
Yeah, there's so many different types of religion, and it is fascinating. If you're not familiar with it or used to it, it's pretty jarring. But they seemed sincere, those students. They were lovely.
They cared so much.
Yeah, they're faithful and beautiful. It was really
like
special.
Summer camp, and I even knew some of the songs.
But what was a little troubling is just like, and this is true of all businesses, and let's be serious, churches are businesses.
Correct.
And so there can be a lot of corruption and ego, and it's fascinating. But there is nothing people love more than watching a hypocrite fall.
Yeah.
Which is what, like, the Carl Lentz thing is. Like, he's telling people you can't have sex and you got to break up with your boyfriend if you do and all this stuff. Meanwhile, he's, like, banging some chick from Central Park, you know.
Oh, my God. They're just so... This is what we just have to accept that people... This is, again, why there should never be statues.
That's what I'm saying. No statues. That's our platform.
No statues. Yeah, that is our platform.
Butt
stuff and no statues.
Okay, they did a study. I've said too much. They did a study where they found the most boring person in the world based on science.
The most boring person.
They didn't name like John Smith. They just said, here's the description of.
I was like, oh no, what if it's the sweatpants kid?
No, what if it said that? Like he wears Fruit of the Loom sweatpants.
It's like, you know, they have like criminal profiling and they're like, they could like tell like he probably wet the bed when he was in it.
Yeah.
He probably wore sweatpants to elementary school and was frequently book dropped.
That is hilarious. Okay. To be honest, the most boring person in the world sounds pretty cool to me. So,
I'm like,
do you have any guesses, or would you just like to hear the description?
I would. Yeah, come on. I always want to guess. Sarah's got a theory placed. I think the most boring person
There's
doesn't
like
go
3
out.
traits.
They don't go out very often.
Okay.
Do they read
They're
a
like
lot?
a homebody.
Yeah.
Oh, do they read a lot? Okay.
Yeah, or maybe like they have like a solitary hobby. Like they do something alone. Like it's a hobby, but it's done by themselves.
I hate when she gets them right.
I love this. And then I think that the most boring
What
person
do you think they might do for a
also
living?
has, I think the most boring person also ranks low on the, like, they like all plain foods. Like they like
For,
all
like,
white
chicken
foods.
nuggets or something.
Yeah, they like that.
Beige foods only.
And they do a job like accounting, like they're processors of information. Okay, what's the answer?
So annoying. Okay, the answer is
Like middleman.
The most boring person in the world is in data analysis.
That is what I said.
Okay, wait, one more before I go on. Where
Data
do you think
analysis.
They might
I'm like
live?
their processor. That
Yeah.
is exactly the definition of this. I'm
like-
so good at this game.
Where do you think they might live?
Oh, Missouri.
Like what type of place?
I'm going specifically. They live. The most boring person lives in one of those apartment complexes like I lived in. Generic apartment complex.
The most boring person in the world. Okay.
In this kind of like not quite the suburbs, but the one that's like that's like conveniently located close to their work. He lives very close to their work. Could walk there. What do you think?
I love it. Okay, he works. I love that we keep saying he because it is.
Yeah, obviously.
He works in data analysis. He lives in a small town and enjoys watching TV in his spare time.
Okay, solitary hobby.
So
Just gave him
it's
a
like
book.
accounting, tax, insurance, or cleaning and banking. Those are the professions they listed. Cleaning. I don't get that.
Cleaning's very
That
exciting.
is not boring at all.
No.
And then their interests are sleeping,
Yeah.
religion. No, not studying it, being in it.
Got it.
TV.
Right, I didn't think you. I thought the people who were in it. I thought like,
watching animals.
what?
Yes, that's what it said. Watching animals and mathematics.
I thought you were going to say masturbating.
That's implied. And they were seen to be the 5 most boring hobbies.
Well, Okay, question.
Yeah.
How is math a hobby and not an interest?
Oh, I don't even know if I thought about the difference between those two things.
The difference between a hobby and an
Yeah,
interest.
right.
Because
I see.
I have an interest in astrology, but
Yeah.
I do not have an astronomy.
It's not a
either
hobby.
one, pick either. But I don't have a hobby of doing
Yeah,
that,
that's a good point.
you know?
Yeah, what do they mean by mathematics?
So, like,
These people are
interest
just
in
doing
mathematics.
equations all
Yeah,
day?
if that person's just doing equation, yeah,
Then they
like-
are boring.
you're fucking bored. That's a solitary hobby that you're going to go do, like... Okay, I will say, however, my new boo got me. This is how well he knows me. First of all, do you see these cute overalls I'm wearing?
Yeah.
He got me these.
Very cute.
So A+ job on the cute overalls.
Oh, I like them. They're nice.
And also, they're like linen-y and fun. And and also, he got me a book of brain games, which is basically. I had to use Pythagorean theorem to solve these equations.
Say no
so
more.
I am doing math equations by myself. I might fit the description of a few of these things.
That's crazy because you're the least boring person.
Yeah, I'm not boring.
Maybe I've ever met.
you.
So that does not
now
apply.
that you say this, maybe I have to balance it out. Maybe I like have a crazy life, so I have to do some things that are boring in order to like
Take it
keep
down a
things
notch.
like take it down. Because like I go to the bar and like do crossword puzzles and do these brain game books.
Yeah. Okay.
And people do think people have called me boring when I do that.
I hate people.
Me too. That's why I do that.
Then they asked this was a study that was done by like polling people like, so what do you think the most boring person would do? Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So then they asked them, how much compensation would you require to spend time with this boring person?
Oh my God.
And the average answer was, how much do you think a day for 1 day of spending time with this boring person?
They're gonna say like what? I mean,
It's not a lot.
I was gonna say like, are they gonna say like 2 hours?
No, the money. How much money?
Money. How much money
Yeah.
would you?
And it's not a lot of money. It's such a weird answer.
Yeah, I feel like what's a day's worth of work? Like, give me like $500. I'll stay with them.
The average answer was $35 a day.
You're not That's not even giving you a minimum wage income.
That's bizarre.
If it's the whole day you got to hang out with this person, you're going to assume 8 hours and you get $35.
Maybe a lot
do
of
that
people
math.
said-
Yeah,
maybe-
that you need some boring people to do the fucking math on that and to tell them that that's a terrible, terrible deal.
Okay,
a
but
boring person did not answer that question.
Since this was average, maybe a lot of people were like, I wouldn't need money. I like boring people. Maybe they said
and boring
$0.
people like make you feel better about your interesting life.
I like being around boring people. It's calm. Believe me. The challenge...
people are only as boring as the people doing the asking, because I don't think there's such thing as a boring person. Everybody has something interesting. I always say, like, I don't care if you're passionate about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and you want to, then let's find that thing and let's talk about that and let's like,
I
boost
agree
that
with
up.
you.
There's no such thing. Only boring
people think people are boring.
Correct.
I agree.
So, I'm rubber, you're glue.
So there. Suck it.
Yeah.
And they said that these boring people were seen as less competent and less warm as non-boring people.
Have we identified an actual, like, I feel like we're describing like a archetype or like a trope from like a movie. We're describing Milton from Office Space is what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And like a character. There's a really funny show called I think it's called What We Do in the Dark. Something like that. It's so funny, and it's like a mockumentary, and it's about vampires who live in New Jersey, and it's so funny. And one of the vampires is what they call an energy vampire. So all he does is he sucks energy out of people, and he has a boring accounting job, but he doesn't really know what he does for work. He just shows up at the office every day, and then he like sits next to people and like tells them really boring stories, and then they get all their energy drained, and that's and then he turns to the camera and his eyes like glow, and it's so like as soon as the person's
we all know people
dying
like that.
of boredom, it's so funny. He is one of the best written characters because we all know these people. We're like, oh my God, it's making me think. And energy vampires can come out in daylight. That's like what they make them on the show. Like, that's this special kind that, because everybody goes to work with one of these people. They're
true.
everywhere. It's a real thing.
Yeah. But even they're not boring. They just suck. That's a different thing.
That was a vampire joke also. That you just accidentally made. That was so awesome. Did you see yourself do that? Hear yourself do that?
They're not boring. They just suck. Wait, I gotta write that down.
Oh gosh.
Okay. I have a query for you. What do you think about this? A vegan
walks into a bar.
Yeah. A vegan called the cops for being tricked into eating chicken by her friends.
Okay, first of all, how did she? Oh, by her friends. How
Like
did
it
she
was a
get
prank.
How did she get tricked into that?
They told her it was plant-based, like Beyond Meat or whatever, chicken nuggets.
Well, what happened is probably she ate it, and then she was like, "Oh my God, this is delicious." And then they told her, and then she felt embarrassed.
Oh. Well, she claims she
Mm-hmm.
thought they were a little off, but she was like, whatevs. And then she found out, and she was enraged and called the authorities.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
The dumbest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you don't think she has any, reason to be...
Nope, not whatsoever. I think you're being ridiculous. I was watching an episode of Top Chef. There's, a new Top Chef, family. Have you seen this?
No, but I heard it's great.
Suze, you would love it's fantastic, and you should watch it with Lincoln and Adam. It's a whole family thing. It's so cute.
Yeah.
At first I was like, what is this? I really do like it.
What's
and
it
the
on?
judges are really. It's on.
Where do you
Bravo.
watch it?
I watch it at my
On the
friend Jessie's
television.
house on her DVR.
Okay.
I don't-
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, so you could come over to Jessie's house. I don't know. That's where I don't know where other people watch it.
I
but
meant, is it on a streamer?
I know exactly, and
Okay.
I still don't know the answer.
I watch it at my friend Jessie's house.
At Jessie's
on her
DVR.
DVR. Poor Jessie.
I know. I always say she's kind of been my pseudo boyfriend.
You're like Aunt Jackie.
She is. Jessie, if you're
Shout out to
listening,
Jessie.
I love you. And we went out to dinner the
I
other
love
night with
Jessie
some
too.
friends, and I'm ordering dinner, and I turned her there, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, let's get a cocktail before." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I want a cocktail." I turned to Jessie. I'm like, "What are the cocktails I like?" And she's like, "Old fashioned." I'm like, "I'll have an
my
old fashioned." It's like that.
You're in a relationship.
Yeah. And our friend Dave is like, "You should try. Oh, have you had a Manhattan?" I turned to Jessie. I go, "Do I like Manhattans?" She's
Oh my
like,
God.
Yeah.
You probably would. Right.
It's just my go-to. Oh yeah. So
Top Chef
yes,
Family.
on Top Chef, right? I'm like, oh, Jessie. Okay, on Top Chef Family, there was a contestant. Their mother-daughter team that are Indian, and they're vegetarian.
Sure, yeah.
And one of the things that they do is they try each other's food. It's so cute. And they're all so encouraging of each other's. And even though there was meat and stuff, they still tried it and were like, "Oh yeah, we're going to eat it." And other contestants
that's
were like,
very
"Oh,
generous.
you don't have to eat that. There's meat." And she goes, "Oh no, I want it's fine. It's okay. You tasted what I made, so I want to taste what you." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. If they for religious reasons, this is a real thing, are able to be so
Yeah.
easygoing and chill. They're not then fucking
Yeah.
can it. I guarantee I can tell you exactly what kind of girl this is. She
Yeah.
has tapestries hanging in her house. She's got those tapestries on her wall over her bed, 100% guaranteed.
Yes. I try to find a common thread for what
I
annoys
actually
me.
want to find her Instagram and see if she does, because I will do that to you. Yes, tell me the common
And
thread.
the thing that gets me more than anything is somebody who takes himself too seriously,
This is that.
which, that's probably why I'm annoyed by Wes, because
Yeah.
let's face it. And, some things that happened at the Oscars, I think that was included in that. And, I just can't.
No wonder
with your,
you love me, because it's the complete opposite
Yes.
of that. Yes. okay.
Anybody that can truly laugh at themselves and I cannot stand.
That is what are the police going to do? Tell me.
Truly, what is the crime?
Truly, what would you like them to do?
Right. It's
And
absurd.
then- I mean, you know what? I say thank you, crazy girl, because you give the 911 operators and the firefighters and people like that something to laugh about.
Well, that's for sure.
You give them good material, because guaranteed they're getting off the phone and telling everyone about this, because that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
You know what I thought would be fun?
What?
Let me see if I can find it quickly. I did this a while ago on Instagram. I asked our followers.
Mm-hmm.
I said, if the thing about me that's the weirdest is how I like only take baths, and the thing that's the weirdest about Sarah is that she doesn't like cheese.
Yeah.
What is the weirdest thing about you?
Yeah.
Brainiacs. And so they submitted answers and they cracked me up.
Oh my God, I want to hear this.
Okay, let me.
Oh,
okay.
this is probably going to be very like help people feel not so weird.
Maybe. Let's see. Because everybody has weird stuff.
Yeah.
And I do think it's fun to. Humans are so fascinating to me. And so let's see what some of them are. And I do love when people kind of know what theirs is. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's just do some. I'll just
and don't get crazy. It's not all cheese. I love a charcuterie board. It's melted cheese. I know.
Yeah.
That makes it even more bizarre because it's everybody else's favorite kind. Okay, continue.
Yeah, and you say it's the consistency that gets you, right?
It's the stringy things. Probably going to choke you. Somebody's definitely choking on that.
See, that's what. Remember when I said that about peanut butter and you thought it was crazy?
Well, now I apologize. I get it now.
I apologize.
I have second thought. I take it back. I didn't know then.
Somebody said they have an extreme aversion to seeing people brush their teeth. She can't even watch herself do it.
What?
I mean, that's a real problem because everywhere you brush your teeth,
it's got to be like a sensory thing, like in your mind. That interesting. A little bit of exposure therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pickles on or near food means it's contaminated and will not be eaten. One person said.
Did my little brother write that?
You know what? It is someone you know. I just saw their username. It's someone from your grad school, I think.
Oh.
A girl that you like? A woman that you like?
Yes. I know exactly who it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So no, not your brother.
And the language that she is, I know exactly who this is.
I eat half the hamburger normal, then take what's left and eat top bun, bottom bun, then meat. What?
Okay, here are my thoughts on that. That this person wants a final bite.
Yeah, of just meat.
So it's got, when you like end up with just bun and you're like, damn it, I wish I would have saved like the perfect ratio. I hate that. That always happens with In-N-Out burgers because they're so dang good.
Okay. One gal is terrified of cotton balls. I mean, they are
So
gross.
is Jordan. It's a tactile thing. And he says they make a noise almost when you touch them. But it's a sensory thing.
But to say you're terrified of them. You're like, I
think Jordan would be terrified of them. He freaks out.
I have to lint roll my bed every night before I sleep. I have 3 dogs and I can't sleep in fur.
I have an easier solution. Don't let the dogs on the bed.
Oh.
I feel like we just solved this problem.
Wow. Somebody says, I love airplane food.
I do too.
You do not.
Yes, I do.
Why?
I'm gonna make them feel okay about this. My mom's theory is that we used to go on trips when I was little, and I loved going on trips, and I would get excited about that. So I've like associated airline food with fun time, some family times. I mean, I like anything with chicken. And also, you know what I love? The little containers they come in. I love that everything's separated, and it makes me feel like I am getting a little of a lot. And the little bread has its own little I love it. I love the little containers and compartments. So good.
Do you eat all of it?
All of it, and if you're sitting next to me,
there always is because nobody else is eating all of it.
I will eat yours. I want yours too. Even pasta on planes, I love it. But yep, I love it all, and it's always too salty, and I love it.
That I'm on board with.
It's always too salty.
There's about a bazillion more, so I'll like spread them out.
This is so fun. And how many of these I'm like, oh yeah, me too, no problem.
You're the quirkiest. That's why you got bullied.
That is it. Yep, queen of the quirky.
But now it's working for her. Let's wind it down.
Yep. Oh, what a fun episode.
Sarah has a stove in her car.
Okay, but like, who doesn't if you're...
How many times would you say you've used it total? And when did you buy it?
Only 2 times because there's something wrong with the propane thing that I have. I have to like work out a little kink.
It would have been a lot more, but
it would have been a lot more. But I took it to Jordan to tinker with, and I haven't got it. He hasn't taken care of it yet. So.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
How much would it be if you bought like hot cocoa at the resort? $10 or something crazy.
Maybe like 10 to 12 bucks.
Wow, that is nuts. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and this little thing was like $50, and it like boils water in 60 seconds.
Did you say you carry water or something, or is it just snacks when you snowboard?
Snacks. Oh, when I'm snowboarding, even better. Like usually we have watermelon juice. That's the go-to.
In like a pouch or something?
No, in like you buy a bottle. There's like really delicious watermelon juice out there that's so tasty. And we'll just get one of those because it's like tons of electrolytes, all the good stuff. Or coconut water. Something that's like more than just water because
Okay.
you're like working.
Sarah talked about her bully who weirdly like messages Brain Candy and stuff. It's so weird.
Yeah.
I
Just
think
had
you're
a
right
crush.
though that because if he didn't have a crush, he wouldn't still be barking up your tree.
Right.
He would have moved on by now.
Yeah, please.
Hillsong, churches are weird.
Yes.
You guys know it. I know it.
Check out Pastors and Sneakers.
Yeah, Preachers and Sneakers.
Preachers and Sneakers.
Yes. I love that guy. And I really like people like him he's a man of faith. He goes to church. All he is doing, he's not even making a comment on it or judging. Right. He's just saying, are you guys cool with this?
Yeah.
Or should maybe we talk about the problems with a man of the cloth
having such expensive cloth.
Yes, buy luxury cloth. I mean,
yes.
You might want to ask yourself some questions about what you value in your clergy.
Right.
And the most boring person in the world we think we would really like.
Yeah.
We like TV. I love data. And
love
I like
it.
small towns.
And math is great.
So maybe we're... No.
Don't even say it.
Don't forget to subscribe. And if you use our codes, we thank you. And leave a review. You can do that on Spotify now, too, as well as all the other platforms. So, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.